Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to do the steering for the motor mount. So what you're going to need is this is a high drive steering assembly made by Pelican. You could order this from their website for, I think it was $35. I will put the link in the description so you could go check it out. I need the steering bracket. I ordered it off Amazon. I can't remember off the top of my head what brand it is. But again, I'll have the link to this in the description so you can check it out. And then you're gonna need a couple bolts with a hole drilled through it and some nuts. You're gonna need some kind of a backing material to build the box for this, because this is built to be a replacement part for one of their kayaks. So you're gonna need to build a back plate for it so it works properly how it's supposed to. The first thing you're going to do is get the steering box lined up with the corner of your backing material, and you're just going to mark out the line where you're going to cut it. Then after you got your lines cut, you're just going to grab your saw and cut it out. Alright, next thing to do, get your boards lined up and the steering box. And you're just going to drill a hole straight through into the backing plates. Alright, something to note when you're doing this, acrylic is super brittle, so make sure you pick a durable enough material that's going to be able to hold up to the drilling. You're just going to take the bolts, make sure the cable's coming out the right side of the box so it catches the wheel properly. You're just going to get it all bolted together. After you have the basic setup done for the steering, you're going to want to get the steering box mounted where you want it. I want to steer with my left hand, because I fish with my right hand. So I'm going to want the steering box mounted about right here. I could mount it up here. I think right here would be out of the way, and I could route the cables down to the back where the trolling motor is. So I'm going to take the steering box apart. It's going to be mounted about right here. This is the first part where I'm actually going to drill holes into the kayak, and those holes are going to be filled by these well nuts. So you drill the hole, put the rubber well nut in, and then you tighten the bolt down into it. When you do that, it smashes this rubber gasket and completely seals the hole. And this one says to use a 3/8" drill bit to drill your holes. Okay, so I ended up remaking the backing plate out of wood because I did not like how brittle the acrylic was. So I'm just going to start by putting 2 holes. In the kayak. Take a bolt, pop it through the hole, and put it in that hole just to keep it in place so it doesn't move when I drill the second hole. Okay. Now that I've got those holes lined up, I'm going to get my 3/8 drill bit and just make those holes a little bit bigger. Then take these well nuts and just slip them through the hole. Then take the bolts that came with the well nut, put it through here, and then put them into the well nut, tighten them down a little bit, tighten them down the rest of the way. So then you take this guy and you put it back together. Get these nuts on here. So then, just like you did with this front steering piece, you're gonna drill a couple holes for the mounting plate for your cables, and a couple more well nuts. Take these clips that came with the steering kit, put them around the cable ends. You're going to get them lined up, and then just bolt or screw it down into this little plate. You're going to want to take one of the bolts that you drilled the hole through, put a nut on it, and then slip it up through one of the holes on the steering arm. You're going to want to tighten this other nut down to just below the hole. You're going to take the end of the cable and insert it through the hole. Get that bottom nut tightened up against that cable as best as you can. Then take the top or the third nut and tighten it down over the top of the cable. To give you a close-up of what I'm talking about, you're going to take the bolt and tighten the nut down all the way below the hole. You're going to take another nut, or you're going to slip this up through the steering arm, then add a second nut over the top of the steering arm and make sure it goes down below the hole. Then you're going to take the end of the cable, feed it into the hole, and tighten that nut up against that the cable tip as best as you can. Then take the third nut and tighten it down over the top. And you're going to want to get these top two nuts as tight as you can around the steering cable so it doesn't pull out. Wherever you decide your mounting point's going to be, you're going to want to feed the end of the wire through the hole in the bolt. Once you get the outside of the cable secure and where you want it to be, you're going to need to pull the wire as tight through the bolt as you can get it so there's no extra play in it. Then get your wrenches and tighten down that top bolt one turn past finger tight, and this cable can't pull out. Then you're going to repeat that on the other side. Alright, so if everything is done right, you should be able to just turn the handle and go the direction you want to go. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the steering video. You can take this steering setup and apply it to just about any kayak that you wanted to that doesn't already have a steering handle on it. This, again, I'll link down in the description. It's a Pelican high drive steering kit, and then the steering arm that's bolted to the back of, or that's bolted to the motor shaft. I'll link that down. These are just parts that you could order online without having to build anything yourself. Then check out the next video. I'll be showing you how to turn the trolling motor on from the front of the kayak so you don't have to turn around to try to reach it.